Hi, how is everybody? So now it's time for Peter to speak out again. Okay, again, before I go on, I would like to introduce a little bit about myself. So I am Peter, now serving in a international research center as a researcher responsible for connecting, reporting, analyzing, and researching all international issues affecting consumers' daily life. And I am also a freelance career development instructor as well. So today I would like to pick a topic to talking about Donald Trump. You know, Donald Trump is still the president of the United States for maybe some 40 to 50 days and more before he is going to quit as president of the United States. So the theme for today's talk is why Trump lose the election. So I think that this is the topic many people so interested to hear. Why he lose the election? You know, he spent so much time to prepare himself to be re-elected as president, but finally the result turned out to be the majority of the voter in the United States decided to remove him from office. Why? So many people would ask why. He got more than nearly 80 million voters to support him, but they still lose. Lose is lose. But looks like Trump refused to admit his failure in the November election. He insists to pursue further through legal actions, through recounting of the votes in each polling stations. So looks like recounting has been carried out and legal action has been filed by his legal teams. It looks like he has encountered some setback on both legal action and the recountings. And Biden already declared that he's going to be president next month in January 2021. USA is going to have a new president. So Trump and his administrative team like Pompeo, Pence, and others have worked together with the aim to succeed the election, but finally failed. Looks like Trump has a very big research team to research the psyche or the thinking of the potential voters, particularly those voters who intend to or incline to support Trump. This is American election. American elections of leader is very different from other countries, such as USA's biggest opponent, China. You know, even though USA has Trump or his team, and many politicians from the West countries always criticize China for its unique political system, and China is almost the only one now, the nation that's still governed by the biggest communist party in the world, and usually nations from the West all usually are pretty much anti-Communist Party, but they never ask questions or they never do too much of research on Chinese Communist Party has been changing. They don't call it pure communism now. They call it a Communist Party or communist or a socialist political system with Chinese characteristic. It's very unique. As a social political system with Chinese characteristic. That means it's almost totally different from Marx, you know, the inventor of Marxism some 100 years ago. So it is Chinese characteristic socialism. It's not Marx socialism. And economically has changed. The economy of China is running in a different way now. It's not in a communist way, not in a absolute a mass way. You can own anything. Money can buy anything. And this China is already a nation with the most billionaires, with the most rich people in the world. Of course, China is still a poor people. But China has done a lot of things to get rid of poverty. Almost more than 90% of the poverty already, vanished in China. So, okay, let's going back to USA elections. Because when you talk about a topic now in this day, you cannot overlook the issue of China. So during the course of discussions, we still have to refer some aspect of China as well, particularly relating to USA. So Trump, during the course of running his election, he has used the tactic or the strategy to demonize China. He and his team have trying to shift all the blames about all the defaults of his performance to China. So many people make a joke of Trump. Everything is China, China, China. He has done nothing wrong. The wrongdoing is all due to China. Of course, if you don't use your brain to think, of course, you will believe him. But still, some naive American would like to take his works, shift all the blame to China. Americans, some of the American jobless just because of the factories moved to China, and that's why they call it jobless. And many automobile factory moved to China, and mobile phone, the iPhone factories moved to China. So everything is blaming China. China is also enjoying great trade surplus, and then making the Americans have a trade deficit, something like that. But if the Americans are sensible enough, they will ask questions. Why the USA always suffer trade deficit? You don't just blindly listen to Trump. You have to analyze why Trump, politician is always liar. The Secretary of State Pompeo already stated he's liar. His previous job is the director of CIA. CIA is lying, keep lying. Trump learning from him as well, because they both of them are from military academic. Keep lying. Many voters, particularly those voters, don't use the brain to think. They will take their works. So shifting the blame to China. The pandemic, the recent hot issues of the pandemic, the COVID-19, the first case is discovered in China. So they then shift all the blame to China. China didn't control it, didn't give them advance warnings about the pandemic. And of course, the WHO has explained a lot that China has done a good job to contain the COVID. Well, look now, you look up the statistic now. China has contained the COVID to the extent that the number of infected cases is even smaller than the number of affected cases in the United States for one day. According to the recent report, the average infected cases in the United States per day is around 200,000 to 250,000 each day, increasing. But up to now, after almost a year now, the pandemic, China so far has only the number of infected cases only around a little bit more than 100,000 infected cases in China only. That means China's total infected cases is smaller than USA's daily infected cases. Is that a joke? Is that ridiculous? What kind of management in USA with such greatest figures? And the total death due to COVID is terrible in USA. More than 300,000 Americans die of COVID just for a little bit more than half year, 6 months. Because Trump said the outbreak just started only like in a few cases first in March. So it's less than 9 months. Before that, Trump says there was no case in USA. Actually, later the reports indicate that the first COVID case is not started in China, but started in USA. According to intelligence and according to some whistleblower, or even one of the mayor in one of the town, one of the city, medium-sized city in USA, he has publicly declared he has been certified to be infected by COVID when he was ill before November 2019. What that means, and the first case discovered in China was in late November. That said, if you believe this American whistleblower of this mayor, that means the first case is not happened in China, it's happened in USA. But of course, majority of the West media inclined to report negative things about China and more positive things about their West regulations. They always neglect that. That's why through YouTube, individually like me or our center, our research center, can air our view, our comment, or our personal views about what happened in this world. Newspaper is not the only media to determine the knowledge or access of ordinary citizens in the world now. So the world become very open. We don't need to rely on newspaper to access daily news, to access our information. We can access many different information, true facts of the cases through different media, Twitters, or, you know, I mean, we don't need to rely on CNN, CBC, or BBC, you know, this British. And then China have their CGTN, and other countries have their own national broadcast channels as well. And we, being ordinary citizens or ordinary people, we can access more diversified information through different channels. So Trump's failure is he has done nothing for the American. He just keep telling lies by shifting blames to China or other countries, not giving him advance warning. This is ridiculous if you are sensible to think. See, the first case, make aware of the WHO already started November. And there's also a representative from USA station in WHO. So they should have the knowledge. How can you shift blame? And if you start to do preparation, to do a precautionary measure, you know, in USA, if Trump is effective enough to start the precautionary measure, the USA would not suffer that much. So Trump, you know, your wrongdoing or your wrong strategy is using the wrong strategies. Maybe this strategy is advised by your working team, your election working team, but this is wrong. And also the trading matter. Looks like Trump, you know, has been a very aggressive businessman. He thought the way to negotiate better deal with China, he can just use his usual business bargaining techniques. He will succeed. So he applied a lot of pressure on tariff on Chinese goods export to USA. He thought it worked. Like at first, in the beginning, he applied 5% of the tariff, and then China don't take this, you know, don't take this tariff. So he add up 10%, and then 20%, and then 25%, and then 30%. He keep on increasing, keep on applying pressure on China, so as to make China to submit or to surrender through trading negotiation. China is not a small country. It's not a weak country in economically, militarily, or anything you can name it. Now, China also have a very successful negotiation team to bargain with the American trade deal negotiation team. So if the USA implement tariff, China is going to fight back to implement counter tariff duty as well. And then as a result, what? Trump has gained nothing. Since the additional tariff duty implement on China this year has even enjoyed more trade surplus. So why after implementing so high tariff duty, China is still enjoying more trade surplus? Because Chinese goods are popular. And actually, China doesn't actually earn so much, even though it has enjoyed certain extent of trade surplus, because many of these Chinese-made goods are manufactured in China on behalf of American companies, well, such as iPhone. So when all the iPhone manufacturing in China and we export back to USA, the Chinese are not earning all the profits, all the money, but more than 90% of the profits going to the pockets of the American themselves. This is the fact. This is the fact the American voters should understand. Not just blindly take the words of the liars, the political liars. So Trump lose the election because he hasn't done too much good things, except to keep lying. So I would bet Trump, you should work hard. You still have a chance after 4 years. But don't use this stupid strategy by keep lying to your American voters. But you have to do something effective. Don't just always go golfing and bullshit when facing the press during the press conference. Another thing I want to point out is Trump's manner or attitude towards reporters is very rude. You know, if I were the voters in USA, I won't vote for him because he is so rude to voters, particularly from certain countries. You know, well, countries like Americans' biggest opponent like China. When I watch some YouTube video relating to the press conference, when Trump answering questions to Asian-looking reporter, he has adopted a very uncivilized manner that should be condemned, particularly even to lady Asian-looking. But that lady is American as well, but he's just a Asian or Asian-looking. You know, Trump, before he answered, where are you from? You're speaking for China? Well, Trump he forgot he's the president of the United States of America. How could he treat such a lady reporter with such manner? Well, you can compare the press conference conducted by the Chinese Foreign Ministry. They are so polite. They are so amiable. And they are so comprehensive in answering questions. I'm not lying. I'm not pro-China or pro-what, but I'm just trying to be more objective. When I see this kind of videos, you know, those words are spoken by the head of the United States, I feel sad for USA with such a rough guy as your leader. Very fortunate, you're going to have a new president. I hope the USA's new president, Biden, will do a better job than Trump. And I have nothing wrong with Trump. I hope he can, you know, if his age allow him, well, after 4 years, he will just he will be just about 78, the same age as Biden now. Biden is 78, so after 4 years, Trump is just 78. He could, if he changes a little bit about his strategies, his bias strategies. Looks like many people say his lawn-color subpoenas or European subpoenas. This is not good. American is the mixed cultural nation. being a president of the United States should love all Americans of different races. You should not stigmatize a certain race in USA. Yeah. So I think, if Trump would listen to more people, particularly, ordinary people in the world, well, including my research center's voice, I think he might still have a chance after 4 years. He's a smart guy, he's a good talker, but he just used the wrong strategy. So I am pretty soon going to stop here, and I hope, well, actually there are more factors that led to Trump's failure in this election, and I hope he can maintain his good image, by stopping all the legal actions and all the unnecessary actions to delay the admission of his failure in the election. Then he will create his image much better, and by doing so, it will be advantage for his potential elections after 4 years, 4 years. So, yeah, good luck, Trump. You still have a chance. USA always have a chance for any candidates. But during your turns, 4 years turns in the past years, I would say you have not done too much good thing for the great nations of USA. You should be more friendly with other countries, particularly even China now is your opponent. But it's just equal competition. It's not your element. But don't try to create many things to demonize other countries and then beautify your own country. This is no good. That is the very devil's acts. The final words I want to say to you. Yeah. Be good. Donald Trump, be good, and try to create a better image after you quit your office next month. Starting from next month, and then you can have more time to play golfing, while you should keep in contact with all your nearly 8 million voters, and then you will come back again. But I hope that you should not use the same devil strategies as advised by your working team, your election working team. So, yeah. So I hope I have already put across some reasons why Trump has lost his election in last month's November. So I'm going to stop here. Thanks for watching, and hope you will subscribe and push the bell button so that I will keep you informed about the coming hot issue that I can share knowledge sharing with all of you. Bye bye. Have a good day.